Hello everyone. Good morning from my side because it's 8 a.m. in Australia. I'm based out of Australia, so good morning and good evening to everyone who are on this session. And thanks, Manpreet, and the team for giving the opportunity to present this global Power platform bootcamp. And then this is my second session that I'm doing for at the global level. And just a quick intro about myself. Myself, Ajo. I'm working as a senior manager, which is basically a senior architect role with Cognizant Technology Solutions. I'm based out of Australia. I'm predominantly focusing on Azure, Microsoft Office 365 space, and Power Platform. Started my journey as a .NET developer, moved gradually onto SharePoint, SharePoint Online, then Office 365, and currently working as a senior architect on Office 365 365 platform. And also I'm a ardent front-end developer fan as well, so pretty much working on React and other front-end technologies as well. That's in a nutshell about myself. And today, on the session that I'm going to present before all of you is on AI builder capability and how that can be integrated into Power Apps. So essentially, the area that I'm going to focus pretty much are one on what AI builders are, and then how we can leverage AI builders onto Microsoft Power App platform, Power Apps capabilities, and how we can quickly build solutions in terms of leveraging AI builder capabilities. So that's a session that I'm going to focus today pretty much, and we'll go through a session, have a quick demo, and then open the forum for any question or questions, and then we'll wind up. So not wasting much of the time, let me get into the session. So I think every Power Platforms session would obviously belong with this beautiful graphics, which shows the Power Platforms overview, right? What are the pseudo products that are available as part of the Power Platform? And essentially, we have got all these four suites of products within the Power Platform, which are basically the Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents. So when we say Power BI, it's basically, as you can see, the top one, right? Is actually doing pretty much very focused kind of functionalities. Say Power BI, we are basically using to do the analysis of the data. So obviously, as you everybody know, data is the king in the current world, right? So how you get the data, how you analyze the data, how you drill down into the data, all those capabilities are basically driven with this particular capability of Power BI or Power Business, intelligence capability from the Power Platforms pseudo products. The next one obviously is the Power Apps, which is basically to act on the data, right? So when you say act on the data, it is basically to get the data, read the data, do your business process and things, and then get the data saved onto any destinations. Basically, it can be your OneDrive Excel file, or it can be to your SharePoint, or to the Dataverse, which is the backend data service provided as part of the Power Platform, right? And then comes the automation part, and that is being leveraged with the help of Power Automate. And as we all know, it actually helps in doing a lot of automations, converting a lot of business process into automations like approvals, data transformation, data collections. So these are pretty much leveraged with the help of Power Automate. Essentially, it's going to do the process automation for all of us. And then the last key to the block is basically the Power Virtual Agent, and that is basically for interaction, right? So when we talk about Power Virtual Agent, the first thing that comes to our mind is the chatbots. So it's basically, as we all know, Power Platform obviously is a no-code, low-code platform. So you are able to build chatbot applications with no code, or very low code graphical interfaces where you drag and drop, the actions that are pretty much leveraging Power Virtual Agents to build chatbots. And this basically, as we all know, the Power Platform, the reason for having the Power Platform obviously is to have a no-code, low-code platform, which leverages or enables what we call as citizen developers to come and build stuffs on Power Platform, rather than relying on specialized skilled people to build all these things for you. So that's at a high level overview about Power Platform. And underlying this, we have the data connectors, we have the AI builders, and the data builds. So data connectors are obviously the collectors, and that actually enables all these apps to talk to all these pseudo products to talk to various underlying data As you all know, there are like almost 300 connectors at the moment available on the Power Platform that lets you to talk to different data sources, right? It can be your Twitter, it can be to your YouTube, it's vast. And then we have the AI Builder capability that we are going to focus today, how it's going to be leveraged to, help all these platforms to bring in the artificial intelligence capabilities. And last but not at all the least one, the Dataverse, which is the database part or the data part, which is again on the within the Power Platform suite of products, where you can get the data to all these apps or back and forth. So that's at a high level about Power Platform overview. And now moving on to what is artificial intelligence, right? It's a term which has been there for a long time, but people used to stay from this particular area because when you speak about artificial intelligence, as per John McCarthy, who is father of artificial intelligence, it's a science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. That's a key thing. Like, when you say intelligent, we all believe that intelligence is something that are possessed by human beings, right? Now we are asking computer or machines to become intelligent, and how we are going to make them intelligent is a question, and that involves a really good skilled people to do that. Like, if you heard, when we always tie the term artificial intelligence with machine learning, right? And all these are very niche skill sets, if you ask me. But with the help of artificial intelligence, we are basically making machines more intelligent, right? And we are providing the cognitive skills to a machine, right? Cognition skills are basically, you have the ability to think, you have the ability to read, learn, infer things from what you see, right? So these are the cognitive skills, and we are actually enabling machines or computer programs to basically do that for us. And how we do that? So as we do for kids, right? You have to tell them, teach them, tune them. These are a lot of processes that are involved, and that's where the machine learning comes into picture. You drill down into data, you try to understand what the data is, what kind of information you want from that. Then you try to build artificial intelligence out of those data, or what you call the trained part of the data, to get a right amount of information for you. So that's where the artificial intelligence and the machine learning are pretty much tied with. And this has always been a kind of confusion, like what artificial intelligence, what machine learning, and that's how we basically tie all these things. So essentially, if you ask me, from my point of view, machine learning is a broader perspective, and artificial intelligence is a subset that you drive out of machine learning that you've done for the data or your specific business scenarios. So we have seen two parts now. We have seen what Power Platform is, what are the few products that are available as part of Power Platform, and then we have seen at a high level what exactly an artificial intelligence basically is. Now moving on to what AI Builder is, or artificial intelligence builder is. So artificial intelligence builder is basically a capability provided by Microsoft Power Platform, right? And that is to improve the business process and automating process. And with the help of AI Builder, what Microsoft essentially have done is they have democratized the way of the world of machine learning and artificial intelligence. You can build artificial intelligence with the help of AI Builder, and then use that in your Power Apps, or you can use that in your Power Automate flows, okay? And then that actually brings in the capability of AI onto the Microsoft platform with very less click functions, rather than building or writing code, which was basically done by expert people before. Like I mentioned, you have to understand the machine learning, you have to be a data scientist. So there are a lot of skill sets are associated when you actually think about building an artificial intelligence solutions for any particular business scenario. But with the help of AI Builder capability that's part of Microsoft Power Platform, it's just a quick win for all of us, like to build an AI, integrate into your wherever you want to do it, right? Into your Power Apps or into your Power Automate the business process based on the data that's coming to. So essentially, if you see this particular slide, it says what are the basic capabilities that AI Builder bring onto the table. So it helps you to improve the business process and automating process and predicting outcomes. And then you can bring some things to connect your business data, and whereby you can bring in artificial intelligence capability within that data. And the most important thing is, like, it can be done by anyone with any skill level. Even could be a beginner, or it could be a data scientist himself. But the skills are not limited as such. If you look at the way before when the AI builders were introduced. So what can we do with the AI builder? That's the next question, right? So what we talked a lot about AI builder. So what we can do with the help of AI builders? So once you have the AI builder in place, it can actually analyze text, right? Say it can extract key phrases. It can analyze sentiments. When I say sentiments, if you want to get a customer feedback, when the customer says, "Hey, this is you have done a great job," that sentiment is like a positive one, right? If you say it's an okay one, it's neutral, and then, oh, your service was terrible, right? It's a negative emotion. So you can extract all these sentiments from the data that you have, or other, let's say Twitter feed where you have different emotions and things that are being fed. You can use those things to get the extract sentiments. Essentially how, if you want to market a product, what kind of customer response are be coming on that based on the data that's been shared, right? Then comes the prediction part. So that's another capability that, with the help of AI builder, you can predict the outcome in the future. This potential use case might be in the case of, an education system where you want to see students' current performance and want to predict the outcome, how the future, the results are going to be for that particular student based on the current data, right? So these are a couple of scenarios where the prediction model comes into picture. Then extracting business card informations, process text from images, right? This pretty much comes handy in the case of, let's say, an inventory management system where you have whole stack of products being stuck onto a shelf or something. Then with the help of this AI builder, you can actually extract text from those images that have been taken, and then extract the information. Read and save information from standard documents, and this will be one of the demo that I'll be showcasing today. Basically, how you can extract data out of documents, how that can be fed into different systems and things like that. And then obviously recognize and count items in the images, and it's again tied to the use case that I just mentioned before, right? You can take a picture of, let's say, if there's a health and hazard app that you want to build. You can take images, look at the number of images. I mean, the specific thing that you want to find out from that particular image, right? You can use this capability. So the use cases are, quite broad, but these are certain things that I want to just pick and show you, like what are the capabilities that you can leverage AI builder to build it out of. So when we talk about AI builders, one of the key terms that comes into picture is what you call as the models. Okay, so model is what we are actually going to leverage to get the build, the AI builder extract data, get the information for you, and leverage it. And basically, as part of your Power Platform capabilities in the AI builder, there are two types of model that are available. One is a custom model, and the one is a pre-built model. So custom model is something that is there, the template is there. Now you have to tailor that to your needs. Okay. And the tailoring is what we call as training the models, and then we use that to get the right information. So that's what we call as a custom models. And then there are something called pre-built models that are ready to use, available as part of the AI Builder suite. And this is custom built. I mean, it's built for us by Microsoft, and you can just readily use it immediately. So if you ask me the difference between these, let me say, once we come to the page, I'll show that. But at a high level, what I can highlight is the pre-built models will have set of data that we are planning to extract. It's already there. We just need to upload the documents or whatever data that we want to find out in the right template. But with the custom models, you have to build it. You have to say, okay, these are the fields that I have to have. You have to train your model to read those information and then use that in your AI builders. So that's how basically, so you can look at model as an entity where you have the right set of information that you want to capture. Okay, so that's the models. And when we get to the demo, you'll be able to understand or relate more with this information. All right, so just coming from the same concept around model. Essentially, once the model is there in place, there are a few things that we are doing in terms of the model lifecycle. First one is like we have to create the models. So once that is created, you save it. That will be in draft model, then you have to start training the models. And this is specifically on the custom model that I'm talking about. Training is the main thing that we have to do. And once we have the model ready, you have to publish the model. So this is a needed step. Only once the model is being published, you will be able to leverage that in your wherever you want to use it, whether it is Power Automate, that's where you'll be able to use the published models. And then we are not done with that. It's not that you have done the models, it's been there. No, now you have to keep track of the model. You have to keep training the model, right? You have more, you can get more scenarios. So you have to keep track of the model that you have built, keep massaging it, getting it more refined, getting more information, train it more, so that your model is up to date with the right input it can come in the future. Okay, so essentially these are the high level more life cycles of a model that are there. So basically you have to create the model, which is basically build the model, then draft it, train it, publish it, and then keep track of the model. So having said that, let's move on to a demo. And the demo that I'm going to show today is around the form processor components in Power Apps. But before we jump into the Power Apps demo, I'll go through the Power Apps in the environment where we can actually build the A builder. We'll show the interface, what are the different types of A builder models available, and then we'll jump onto the demo. So I'm just bringing up. Let me know once you can see my screen with the Power Apps environment. I hope you can see the screen, and as we know, I have to actually go to my Power Apps environment to access the A builder. So I'm already logged in. We go to make.powerapps.com, logged into my account, and if you see the left-hand navigation, you can see the A builder here. And within A builder, we have two sections. One is the explore, and then we have the model section. Okay, it's taking me a while, but let me quickly go to. Okay, so it's just loading. So we have two sections here. One is the explore and one is the model section. So explore basically is a starting page where we can actually go start building the apps. So if you go through the sections here, so these are the models that are available at the moment. And then there are some good tutorials that Microsoft have created, to understand A builder capabilities, how we can build A builders, and different use cases that you can use. Then you've got how-to videos and there's customers who are actually using it and what are they, the roadmap. So that is the first page, and the models section here shows the models that we have actually created or shared with you. Okay. Going back to the the explore section. So as I mentioned, these are the set of models that are available at the moment. Okay. And as we speak, we have got this set of models that are available. So I'm not going in details of each and every one, but essentially a few things that are highlighted. If it is a custom model that I mentioned, you can see it's been highlighted as a custom model here. And these are all of the models. So there are total like 16 models at the moment. And as part of the documentation available on the Microsoft site, I think it's 12 now, but this is since this is Office 365 platform and new capabilities that comes out, as we speak, there are 16 models that are available. And then here they are specifically, it's the same ones, but here they're specifically called out based on the type of data that's going to be stored. So if you see here under the document section, we have got invoice processing, text recognition, receipt processing, identity document reader, business card processor, and form processing. And if you ask me, just to show a difference, right? We have got invoice processing and we have got form processing. And if you click a particular model, for instance, it gives you complete detailed information about what's the use case around using this particular model. And if you see this one, this is a pre-built model for you. So if you upload any document with specific fields to be captured, it will be created. Okay, and if you see, this is going to be used in a flow. This can be used in a flow. If I come to form processing also, if you see, it's doing the pretty much same thing, but here we have to create it. The reason for being, that's a standardized template, but here, let's say an invoice processing scenario where you are getting invoice from different vendors and the templates would be different. The details that you want to capture might be different. That's one scenario. Another one might be, let's say, a tax document that you want to pull information from. So, for all those ones, there'll be custom fields that you have to define and extract the data. And if you see get started, we can actually leverage this particular one that can be embedded in a Power Apps or a Power Automate. And you can see it's a premium one. So again, business card reader, right? You have a specific template for a business card. You know what kind of information are there pretty much on a business card. So that's around the business card. Then quickly coming on to text array models, text array models, you have the sentiment analysis. So based on the text that are there, you can actually say, hey, so if you see here, there's a test scenario also. If it was easy to sign up, so it's been a positive scenario. If I mention it as it was okay to sign up and analyze test, right? And then it started analyzing the text for you and say it's a neutral one, right? And if I say, I reckon it should give me, it was not fine to sign up on. So you can see, the particular text is extracted and the sentiments is given as like 100%, right? It's a negative. So, and basically this can be used in a flow and used in an app. So let's say somebody uploads a document or something onto SharePoint and you want to extract the sentiments out of that, you can actually leverage this. We have got entity extractions, that is specified terms and things, key face extraction, language detections, and then coming to structured data. This is basically to extract predictions, right, from the data that's been stored in your other source. And the last one is the images. We have got text recognition, object recognition, image recognition. So these two are custom models, and it's basically to, you can build your AI, train it, and to extract the data and say. So this is one kind of scenario that I mentioned in terms of doing an inventory management system. And then image classification. So, I mean, there are a whole sort of models that are available to, leverage your process that are there. So having said that, I'll just quickly move on to the demo that I just mentioned. That is basically to do an form. So what we're going to do from a form processing demo that we're going to do is, we have set up documents. So if somebody uploads a document, I have to extract the data from that document. And the scenario that I'm going to use is a invoice document and sample that's been provided already by Microsoft. So we're going to extract the form data that will be saved. And the interesting part over here is that the form that we are going to upload can be, should be like a PDF or a JPEG or PNG, but it doesn't matter whether it should have a printed text. It can also have a handwriting, okay? And still, the AI builder is capable enough to extract the information from that, provided we tag the data rightly with that. And then how it's going to be processed automatically is what we are going to see in this demo, okay? So let's get started by going into mic.powerapps.com. And I just go to document and okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a form processing model. So I click on that. I say, okay, this is the one I'm going to do and get started. Okay. And just getting things ready for us. Meanwhile, let me open the document that I'm going to show. Okay, this first. All right. So this is the invoice that I'm just going to use for this demo. So basically, this invoice have got a date, it got an invoice number, it got a the company information to whom the invoice being sent, the customer ID, and then there's a tabular section which shows the items part of that invoice, and then few other metadata such as subtotal, sales task, and total. Okay. Now, so there are a couple of steps when we want to actually build a custom model. That is basically, first one is to find out what kind of information that you want to extract from the document. So accordingly, you have to set those fields to capture those information. Okay, and then that's what we are going to do here. Okay, so as you can see, these are the information that we are planning to extract from this document. Okay, so I'm just gonna find out the columns that we want to add, then just keep adding the column. One second. One second. Power apps. I'm just going to power apps once again. Make the power up. Just want to show you the fields that I've captured. Then yes, just loading. Hold on a minute. All good. Yep. Good. So if I come to the models here, okay. So what I'm going to do is based on this particular PDF, that document that we are looking at, I'm going to capture the invoice number versus this one. I want this information, basically the due date, and then the total amount and the customer ID, right? So these are the fields that I'm expecting to extract out of that document. So as I mentioned, the first step that we're going to do is basically create the field. So if you see here, these are the options that are available. We can create fields, we can have single page table and checkbox. Okay, I'll come to them individually, but let me first create, the columns that we want. First one is an invoice number. So, and then we have the due date, then the total amount, and then the last one, the customer ID. Okay, so give the customer ID, done. So these are the data that we are going to extract from this one. And then the interesting part over here is I've got I've got a tabular section here, right? So here I mentioned, okay, items, okay, and then I can rename the column. So in this one, I've got two columns here. I'm planning to extract description and the line total. Okay, so let me rename it description, rename, and then line total. Right, and then done. So I've got invoice number, due date, total amount, and customer ID. And now, once we are done, so we have defined what are the data that we want to extract from this particular invoice. Now we go to the next page. Okay. Take me a while. Okay. Now comes what we call as a collection. So essentially, you can think about collection as a group of documents that have similar properties. Let's say you can't expect invoice from all the cumulative to be with the same format, right? This is one way of how the invoice look like, and probably there will be another set of information, another way. A document might look like this. Okay, so this is one format, this is another format, but you can't build different form processing for different invoice, and that's where this particular capability comes into picture. So when you say create a collection, and let's say I'm putting it for this particular one, okay, I say for add item, so, and then I click on this, and it's super quick that you can just drag drop the documents that you want to your AI to be trained. So add documents. So I've got option to select which data source I want to pull the information from, and I'm just going to upload from my local thing all the 5 documents, and it's processing. So once it is ready uploaded, I can confirm that to go ahead and upload all the 5 documents. So this is basically creating the collection. Okay. What we are actually doing here is we are going to train your model, and for training the model, you need a set of documents to be uploaded, and at the least, you need to have at least 5 documents to be uploaded to train your model. But as we get more documents, it gets more better. So for now, I'm just uploading 5 documents, and that's one collection. I can further add a collection and say Kuntoso, and that's for okay. So let me name a collection with the company name here, and then oops. Then I can go ahead and upload those set of documents. So what we are, as I mentioned, what we're basically doing is you're actually going and getting the data to train your model, so that once you are using this model in your Power Apps, or whatever receipt that you're uploading should ideally be something following this similar template, and you can extract data out of that. So we have uploaded to create a 2 collection. One is Condoso and one is add item. And then I click on, so actually you can see, as I mentioned, you need to have at least 5 sample documents for each collection. Okay. And one good thing is for each and everything, there is a clear-cut definition from Microsoft what exactly are we doing. Okay. So it's pretty easy, pretty quick one. And then comes the tagging document part. So you can see we have got 2 set of documents here that we have uploaded as part of the collection. We have got Condoso and we have got Datum. So let me go to Condoso, and this is what we are going to do as part of here, the tagging. Okay, couple of things that I want to highlight here. So we can see this, the invoice that we are going to do, and already the document is being processed. And if you click on show detected words, we can see those the information that are detected as part of this being highlighted, right? So we have invoice, and this is basically leveraging the concept of OCR, or object character recognition. So we can see that it's been highlighted. So when you click on this, immediately it shows up to which field that I want to tag this one. Okay, which area that you want to tag this particular word that's been detected. So invoice number. So I have got invoice to be tagged, right? So immediately when I select invoice, it's getting mapped to this. Similarly, this one, right? It's been shown separately. Okay, if I click on this one, that's a separate one. It's been detected separately. This is detected separately. But for me, this is an entire entity called due date. So I can still highlight this and then map it, right? And then if I come down, then I've got the customer ID, right? I tag the customer ID. Last one is the total. Okay, I tag it to total. And then comes the interesting part. So this table, right? So this is the tabular section. I select the tabular section as a whole, right? I can map it. And then comes this particular screen. So if you remember, I created 2 columns for that particular table. I created description, I created line total. Okay. So here I'm getting an opportunity now to manually go and find the rows and columns, so that I can tag the right columns. Or there's an additional functionality where it says, if you advanced tagging, you can directly go and say, okay, description. This is my description, okay, and that's my line total. And then this is my second description. This is my second line total done. Okay. So if you see, once I've added all the fields and tables, I can see this is marked now. Okay. Similarly, we have to do for all the 5 documents. As it might take time, I've already, so we're talking about like 10 documents, right? 5 here and 5 there. Since it will take some time, I'll just go back to the collection that I've created before. So, okay. So I've already tuned it. So I reckon you have understood this particular tagging part. Okay. So once we are done with the tagging, then the last part of this is you have to basically, this is a form processing 9 hours. Okay. I'll go to the previously created one. So it's pretty much the same one. But the only difference is like I've created only 5 documents within that. I haven't used and I haven't created another collection within this particular form processing component. Essentially, the steps are pretty much the same. You upload the document, you tag the documents, and then the last part is you're training your document. Okay, so documents tag is pretty much the same thing. So you've got the 5 forms here. I go to the terms. So we have seen until step this, and then I go to next, and then I have got the option to train. Okay, so this will take some time. So this is the last part of what we have seen here. So after we have tagged all the documents, we go to that particular thing, and then the next step shows you to train your model. So what it's basically saying is it's going through the data, extracting the data, getting your AI builder model to understand, okay, if somebody uploads this document, this of this template, these are the data to be extracted. Okay, now I go to the details page, which basically shows the section pretty much here, and here if you see, it says your model is used, how it can be used in a Power Automate and in a Power Apps. So it depends on what kind of model that you're going to use. Okay, and now so that's the training part. Now you have to publish your model, and only after you publish your model, you get this option, use model. Okay, so to show that one, hold on for a moment, it's just spinning up. Okay, so this is the form that's currently being in the draft state. So if you go into the details of that particular form, since I have been completed the entire activity here, basically this particular button won't be, this is the last train version. Okay, so until you publish, this option that I mentioned, to use the app won't be available. So since I have to publish it once again. Okay, and then since I trained it second time, and then once it's been published, you'll be able to see the option to use the app. So close the, hold on for a moment, it's publishing, just a moment, won't take long. Close this one. So meanwhile, things are getting ready. What we have done now is we have created, we have picked the form processing model, and then we added the fields that had to be extracted. Then we created the collection, uploaded documents to be so that you can train your model. And once the training was done, then we saved and then we have published it. Once we published it, this particular button will get enabled. And when we say use model, it gives me the option where to use this model. So it can be used in a Power Automate, it can be used in a Power App, and document solution. So I'm picking the new app in Power Apps, and that brings on to your Canvas hub, and pretty much everything configured for you here. Just spinning up as usual, take a while. Yep. So the nice pin graph started coming up. Let's wait. Getting things ready for us, and then almost there. Looks like taking some time. Not sure. Yeah, interesting. So we can see it's a premium component. Okay, and there is the form processing component that we have. Okay, so this is the form processing component, and if you see the at the moment it's not connected to any AI model yet. Okay, so here what we have seen is we have directly launched the canvas up from building the canvas of from the AI builder. Also, there's an option. If you go to insert, you have the AI builder, and you have got all the custom ones that you can. I mean, the one that the form processor is here. Since it's already there, I'm not adding it again. But now you can see the form processor component, but you need to select the model that you have created, right? So this is the model that you have created, and immediately if you create, it shows up here. Okay. Now what I'm interested is I'm just going to insert a label, and this label is going to say get the information that is going to be uploaded from this particular form processor. So for that, I'll erase the face, and then I say form processor. So form processor one dot fields, taking some time. And then it lists out the set of fields that I want that are available. And I say, okay, total amount. Just taking something. Okay. So I'm telling, okay, so the form processor control is here, and I'm going to extract this particular value onto a label. Okay. And then let me insert another label and say just for information. Okay, so I'll just quickly run it, and then I'll come to the use case. So let me run this. I say analyze, and then the one that I've trained is basically for a data. So for the test, I'm using this one. I say upload, and now the invoice is getting uploaded, and the AI, the model is going to that the extracting the information based on the way it was trained. And you can see here what happened now is it have extracted the total amount from this particular document onto our data. So the total amount, if you see, it was once again, so datum test. Yeah, this invoice that I've applied, and that is a total amount, and that's what's been captured here. So what we have done is we have just uploaded the document. The AI builder extracted the information and pulled it onto the screen. Okay. And one more thing, probably you all might be curious to see. So similarly, all the other fields you can extract the information. And one more thing that I want to just show is, let's say you want to show the the tabular section here. So I can go ahead and insert a data table. Let me drag it down a little bit. Okay, and then the items property, I say form processors from processor one dot tables dot. So that's the name of the collection that the table that I've created. Okay. And then you can go into the specifics of the columns within that, but we are actually looking to create a table out of that, right? So, and then I go to edit fields. I need to say which all fields that I need to come up, right? So I say description, item total, add. Okay. And that's it, because now if I run, you can see this PDF document. So it's already extracted the data. So you've got safe port alarm, which is $32. You've got filter cartridge, 269. So all this information are here, right? So that's how you actually pull the information and show on the form. So you can add customer ID, you can add the other information that you pull, which is due date and things like that. So let me upload another document for now. I go to this one. Let me put one of the documents in the train section. Open. Yep, you can see it's getting uploaded, extracting the information, and then eventually the data is here, which is the number of items that you can see, 2, and then the total amount of $90.20. 20. Sorry. So that's a quick demo about form processing and basically the functionality that you can actually leverage with the help of AI Builder. But this is one of the use case. There are more scenarios that you can actually try out. There are very good documentation around how each and every model can be used, how you can use them to extract information and other stuff. So that's pretty much wind up my session for today. And over to any questions and answers session.